I'm sure you've heard by now about the untimely death of Stephen Twitch Boss. That's a slick name, Stephen Twitch Boss. But it's pretty sad what happened to him. He committed suicide according to the report in the news and according to the police report. Um, they said that he left his home without driving his car and ended up in a motel and then ended up committing suicide. That's crazy. I don't know. Does that sound kind of suspect to y'all? I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, and I'm not talking about this as I'm not saying this is a conspiracy. But what I'm saying is somebody had to see that man leave his house. So somebody had to either pick him up, and even if he was walking down the street, somebody had to see that man walking down the street. If they asked the neighbors. Now I don't know where he lives, and I don't know how far he lives from the nearest motel or town or city or whatever, or if he lives in the city, I don't know. But I don't know. It just seems kind of suspect. That report. Anyway, DJ Twitch. That's how he got his name on Ellen DeGeneres show. But prior to that, he was a competitor on So You Think You Can Dance. And but he goes back further than that when it comes to dancing. Matter of fact, his name Twitch came from his childhood days when he used to dance. And he got his name from that particular dance they used to do back then. It was a pop dance. So some of you millennials and Gen Zs don't know what a pop dance is unless y'all watch some old videos of dance videos and so forth movies. I mean movies from back in the day. But that's how he got that name. And he said it's amazing because he said that they asked him, doesn't that sound kind of like strange Twitch for a grown man? He said no. He said that's part of my being. According to an interview, he said it's part of my being. And he said, I have no problem with that. So also too, it's a part of his history too. But anyway, he rolled with it until his adulthood, into his adulthood. It shows the regular genuineness of this brother. Anyway, it's just sad that anyway, that for anybody, whether they may be popular or not, it's just sad. He met his wife. Matter of fact, speaking of dance, So You Think You Can Dance, he met his wife on that show. And she was a competitor, but she was a competitor in a different season. And then supposedly he was, according to what I read in the interview. And he actually met her in the 7th season for an all-star episode for that particular show. And he said it was love at first sight. According to one of the interviews he was in, he said love is at first sight. He said he did not, romance her. He did not, try to get his rap on, this, that, and the other. All he did was dance with her. And then he said when he danced with her, that was it. It was like love at first sight, And, I can say the same for me because when I saw my wife for the first time, it was love at first sight. Yeah, he loved his wife pretty much, He really loved her. As a matter of fact, his wife's name is Allison. And I'm sure she's going through a lot right now. She's got to be going through a lot because it's roughly, excuse me, it's rough losing a loved one. I had something in my ear. I'm like, what the heck is that? So it's pretty rough losing a loved one. And he definitely loved her, He really did. So. And normally after you first meet someone, what happens? Bam, a family. But it's sad though. These children got to grow up without their dads. I know a lot of children. Children is in a situation where they don't grow up without their dads, and for one reason or another. But it's still sad. Whatever the reason is, it's pretty sad. It really is. I mean, he got a daughter and a son. And I don't know if this is an older picture or if this is a current picture, but his wife is pregnant in this picture, so that means he got like 3 kids according to this photo. He might have 4, I don't know, but according to this photo, he has 3 kids. So that's really sad. It really is. Anyway, I'm trying not to get all caught up because, some things in my family happen, and I've had loss, as most of us had. We all had loss in our families, and it's really something hard to deal with. It really is. And this guy here, they said that his aura was just so magnetizing. They said when he walked in the room, it just, everyone, would just feel his vibes, and he would perk everyone up. So, and his name, DJ tWitch, he got that when he started on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and he was on that for some seasons. And then after that, I think her season stopped in 2021, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But after that, he went to a show called Game of Games. If any of you ever watched that show, Game of Games, and I believe that was the last show that he was on before his untimely death with this suicide. But you know what? You just never know what a person is thinking. A person could be smiling on the outside and crying on the inside. You just never know. You just never know what someone is going through. They say you can read it in the eyes, but sometimes that's hard. Because they can camouflage it by smiling. Because some people have smiling eyes. They smile with their eyes. But it's sad. It really is. Smooth looking brother too. You know what I'm saying? Sad. Now I don't know if his parents, they didn't say anything about his parents, and I don't know if his parents are still living or if they're not. But if his parents are still living, that's got to be a real tearjerker there. It's got to be, because I've had, not to get too personal, I've had two brothers that passed away, and my parents. I watched my parents go through losing two children. One of my brothers was 23 when he passed away in a terrible car accident. This dude was doing a drive-by, and the police happened to see him, and they chased the van. It was in the van. My brother coming from the ice cream parlor with his boy, and when the light turned red, he went through the light and they T-boned it. This fool running through the light, running from the police. And then my older brother passed away at 30. What was he? 32, I believe. He was sick and got, but that was the most hurting feeling or scene that I have ever experienced in my life. Because the wail that came out of my mother when my brothers passed away, it's just, I still hear it to this day. My dad, men are proud, my dad just left out. He went somewhere, and I'm sure he grieved, and men, they got their pride. They don't want anybody to see him cry or anything like that, But I'm sure if his dad and mom are still alive, if they still living, I can only imagine what they're. No, I can't imagine. I know, based on my own experience with my family, what they might be going through. It was really sad. Yeah. So you can see. Look at him. Dude. When I was watching Ellen DeGeneres, she used to have him come out and dance on the stage sometime and stuff, and do some silly stuff. He used to do some silly stuff, and also too on Game of Games. I've watched him on that. But like I said, you just never know what a person. What's strange? There was no suicide note. There's too many holes in this story. I'm not saying that anyone is lying, but there's just like a lot of holes. Excuse me. Somebody not doing their job. I don't know. I'm not saying the police not doing. I don't know. I really don't know. But to me, it just seemed like, I don't know. It just seems pretty strange. There he is again with his wife. Wow. And then, like I said, she's got to explain to the children what happened, and then she's got to grieve herself and then watch her children grieve and try to console them, and make them, deal with this in some form or fashion. Because one thing about death in the family, you never get over it. You never get over it. You can only learn to live with it, but you'll never get over them. Not over them, but you'll never get over the fact that they are no longer there, because there are going to be times when, if any one of you watching this have experienced this, there are times when you could just be doing your daily thing, whatever, and all of a sudden, wham, a thought of them will pop in your head, and you get that same feeling all over again, just for that moment or 2 moments or whatever, while you're thinking about them. So they'll always be in your heart. I'm sure some of you out there, many of you out there, have lost loved ones in your family. I mean, it's, you know, it's evident that, you know, a lot of people do. So anyway, look, please leave your comments, and definitely like to hear what y'all have to say about this, and also to, you know, click the thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up and help out my analytics, and also to, you know, hit that bell for notification, so when I pop up a video, and you automatically get it. Anyway, this is all I have to say about it. This is too sad for me to go on and talk about this. I didn't know this guy personally. I never knew, but I did watch him on television, and like I said, he always had a bubbly personality, and it seemed like he was always a happy guy. But again, like I said, you just never know what a person is going through. They can totally fool you, and then, you know, they're gone.